So, today we're going to talk about a very specific book specific, we're always going through a specific book, but this time it is actually a very interesting book because it is about relationships, or to be a little bit more precise. The book is called The Mystery Method, How to Get Beautiful Women into Bed by Mystery. Oh, it is by Mystery, so we don't know the author, I guess. I'm just seeing that with a foreword by Neil Strauss, the best-selling author of The Game. Pretty amazing. This can indicate that it is a good book if the foreword is written by somebody like that. And the link to this article is going to be down in the description. So if you want to check out their version of the podcast, which is probably more or less audiobookish, then please do so. And I might also actually be doing that. I always just do it myself, but I could actually be listening to these things as well. But anyway, I'm going to start reading and I'm very interested. Not necessarily just in the how to get beautiful women into bed part, even though this is the whole book. So I don't know, I'm not desperate to doing so. So this is what I want to point out. Just find it very interesting, how things work. Anyway, so The Mystery Method by Mystery. One of the most admired men in the world of seduction, teaches average guys how to approach, attract, and begin intimate relationships with beautiful women. For every man who always wondered why some guys have all the luck, Mystery, considered by many to be world's greatest pickup artist, finally reveals his secrets for finding and forming relationships with some of the world's most beautiful women. Mystery gained mainstream attention for his role in Neil Strauss' New York Times bestselling expose, The Game. Now he has written the definitive book or handbook on the art of the pickup. He developed his unique method over years of observing social dynamics and interacting with women in clubs to learn how to overcome the guard shield that many women use to deflect come-ons from average frustrated jumps. And this is, or seems to be, end quote, by Audible. Very interesting that they... I know that this is a person, but I gotta have to close the window there. I, by the way, feel amazing today. I've slept quite long, actually, and I've also planned to do so. So I went to bed at midnight, I think, and I've woken up at 7 a.m., which is actually 6:50. And since then, I'm just sitting here and doing stuff, and it feels amazing. It feels really good, and I'm super duper happy about that. But yeah, anyway. Chapter 1, The Mystery Behind Casanova. And I'm really gonna try to highlight more in this book because I believe that, I first of all believe that it is very interesting, and as you can see, it is very long, indicated by this little thing there. It's very, very long. And so I assume that it is also a good book, or a good summary, therefore. But yeah, I'm very interested. Chapter 1, The Mystery Behind Casanova, or Casanova, or whatever. Attraction comes before seduction, but isn't an end in itself. Next is building comfort. Courtship is the process of building attraction and comfort. You need to build arousal at the end of the comfort building stage, then begin a sexual relationship by seducing her. Beautiful girls are seldom alone, so he had to get good at opening a group. Using this method, you should be able to seduce any woman within 4 to 10 hours, with the average occurring within 7. I might also be just highlighting the whole thing, but yeah, anyway. The 7-hour rule. These 7 hours aren't necessarily continuous. Usually, taking courtship to seduction requires venue changes which have to be accommodated through what are called time bridges. In order for you to be permitted the audience of a beautiful woman to attempt to attract her, you must first disqualify yourself from being considered a potential suitor by her. Disqualify yourself from being considered a potential... What is a suitor? I don't know what a suitor is. Admirer. Oh. I see. They're going... they're always going to this lane, but I always think this is not who I am. I know if I'm interested, then I'm also just showing my interest. And but maybe this is just the wrong thing to do. I don't know. It's probably the wrong thing to do because so many people have been talking about it. But still, I feel this is who I am. But yeah, anyway. If you don't, she will assume by your approach that you're after her, and then she'll know you perceive her as having high value. If her value is high, then it is higher than yours. I see. The attraction circuits of women are calibrated. Find a man attractive, not measured primarily by handsomeness or physique, but rather by social value. It's not as much about looks as it is about conveying that you are the tribal leader, which is amazing. Which also kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, chapter 2, the ultimate purpose of life. While the primary purpose of life is to survive, the secondary purpose is to reproduce, which kind of is, I think, clear and hope clear. Because of your limited time alive, you must acknowledge the need to accelerate the learning curve through disciplined focus. The Venusian arts, the art of love, are the arts of picking up a woman you had not previously met and successfully by begetting an intimate relationship with her. This is a discipline that aids in replication. Dynamics, social homeostasis. All social animals, including people, live under constant pressure from two competing interests, protecting themselves from others and aligning themselves with others. We are evolved biologically to live in small groups of hunters and gatherers. Many of us occupied cities with millions of people. We have been able to do this because of the development of culture, tools, language, and etc. We are hardwired to seek alignment with high-value people. Approach anxiety comes from the fear of rejection, which is a pain can last days or weeks or months. Approach anxiety comes from the fear of rejection. I see. Spiraling occurs when you let one of the three areas in your life become neglected and affect the other areas. Spiraling occurs when you let one of the three areas in your life become neglected and affected by the other areas. The three areas are health, wealth, and love. You must maintain or improve all three vital areas of your life while keeping them in balance, which is definitely the case. If you're very wealthy, which means that you're probably working quite a lot, this can lead to you not being that healthy and you not actually having the best relationship with your spouse. You know what? I'm actually gonna highlight the whole thing because there's bits that are very important, but I feel like the multitude of them and like just them being combined is very interesting. Not interested, but interesting. But yeah, social status is indeed a high thing, a cool thing, and an important thing. But anyway, chapter 3, rewiring her attraction circuitry. Don't try to convince her, argue with her, more engage her in any other way on a purely logical level. Logic should never be used as a motivator in the field. This is because what a woman thinks she likes or says she likes is not necessarily what she responds to in reality. Stimulate her emotions. The Venusian artist uses emotional stimulation instead of rational discourse. Your romantic interest will invent her over reasons for what is happening if it feels right. Your romantic interest will invent her own reasons for what is happening if it feels right. Instead of yes, and I've read that twice, I know that, just to make that clear. Instead of only trying to give good emotions and avoiding bad ones, stimulate her with a range of feelings, including curiosity, fascinations, connection, indication, validation, laughter, embarrassment, happiness, sadness, fear of value loss. And I would especially say fear of value loss is a good one. It's not, the thing is, it's always about playing games there. And as I said, this is not necessarily my most loved thing to do, kind of, but it is interesting. I gotta have to try that out. I really gotta have to try that out in some way. I don't know in which way. Maybe this is also, we're probably also able to do this via texting, I guess. But yeah. The more she is stimulated, the more peacocking is when someone wears attention-getting clothes. This prompts others to interact with him or her. You demonstrate higher value when people perceive that you are accustomed to the social pressure of wearing non-conformist clothes and otherwise not affected by it. I see. You know what? It's very interesting. And you know what? First of all, my life is so strange at the time. There's so many. Maybe I'm just seeing more. Maybe indeed I'm just seeing more. This could also definitely be the case because The thing is, I feel like that there is so many different coincidences that are happening at this point in time that it is insane. It really is insane. You know, things are happening, this is happening, that is happening, and everything kind of aligns in some or the other way. It is very interesting. And, I really like that about my life, and I really like that about my situation right now. But yeah, it's very interesting, because I've almost forgotten to actually explain my point. I do have, it's not there. I do have some pants, and those pants are, what is this pattern called? Checkboard? I think checkboard. There is a checkboard pattern on these pants. They fit pretty well and pretty good. They do also have some, I don't know what they're called, these things that you just put onto your shoulder so that you hold your pants instead of a belt. These things. I'm also having these things, but they are just attached to it. It's more or less just an accessory. It's not, you can use it for real, but I'm not using it for real. So it's like, yeah, why? But I've gotten the most compliments for this piece of pants, for this set of pants in like any time. I think 5 times or something, just in my lifetime right now. It's not that much, but often people come up to me, girls come up to me specifically and being like, well, this looks very cool. This might be due to just it being a fucking checkboard patterned pants. It's not necessarily something that's normal and everybody's just using or wearing or whatnot. So maybe I gotta have to do that. I gotta have to try that as well. Anyway, a woman's reputation directly influences her social status. That is why women are easier to get into bed when they are on vacation. I see. Women need plausible deniability. She won't really do anything during pickup that will make her feel responsible for what happens between you. I see. Act with moxie. Moxie means inventor of courage. The Venusian artist must always be leading the interaction. He has no choice. Women seldom take responsibility for what is happening. I by the way, just in general like that. I in general like to lead the conversation or the interaction. Must always lead to the interaction. But I also like to do so. And I think it is also kind of just inevitable, the case. If you are approaching somebody that you're like, what's going on? I like this and that and whatnot. I don't know. Yeah, I think it just kind of makes sense. A woman's number one emotional priority is safety and security. Above all, she wants a man who makes her feel safe and protected. Yeah. And, I gotta have to be honest with you, this is kind of also done by having a good physique. If she sees that you're in fucking great shape, maybe as well that you are just a martial artist or something else. This feels safe. I would also feel safe if I'd be a martial artist. I also feel safer right now because I am just at this point in time learning to be a medic. And I feel like, well, if there's something happening, I could actually do something. If there's happening something to my loved ones, I could actually do something. I could actually kind of defibrillate, I guess. I don't know if this is the right word, but I could do so. Yeah. If a woman views you as a contender, she will give you congruence tests subconsciously. The more invested a woman is with you, the more time you spend, money spent, effort exerted to get your attention or validation. What? The more invested a woman is with you, the more time you spend, money spent, effort exerted to get your attention or validation. The more she's emotionally and physically engaged with you, the more likely you will begin a sexual relationship with her. Does this mean the more effort I put into her, the better? Is this what I really see, or is this what she does? It takes an average of 4 to 10 hours to develop enough familiarity for sex. The more effort she put in, the more invested she has become. I see. I really indeed see. Once her safety has been secured, she's attracted to fun and stimulation. Be a fun and playful person. This is preferably to appearing tough or too deep. I see. Be slightly unpredictable. Familiarity breeds contempt. Embrace your passions and be involved in activities. Well, I actually gotta turn out to highlight everything. Anyway, your objective isn't to have sex with her, it is to allow her to fall in love with you. The 6 to 10 rating system is used by people to decide how to respond to others based on their perceived social ranking. Seeking to build rapport will work for 6 and 7s, but acting cocky and confident will work better with 9s and 10s. Seeking to build rapport will work for 6 and... Really? Being cocky and confident. But then you actually have to decide which number this other person is, quite, in the social rank system thing. I don't know if this is that easy, especially if you don't know the person. I would actually argue that it is not. But yeah, anyway. Cat theory. Keep the bait just barely out of her reach and then continually entice her in small increments. 9 times out of 10, when she says she has a boyfriend, it means you telegraphed too much interest. I see. It has nothing to do with whether she actually has one. In fact, if she is attracted to you, she will often deliberately hide the boyfriend from you until after you had sex with her. When she mentions having a boyfriend, don't ask about him and don't appear phased. He may not even exist, and take it as an instance of a lack of interest caused by you telegraphing too much interest far too soon. I see. Don't act as if things are a big deal. Just repeat the words "no problem" in your head over and over until you really believe it. No matter what happens, it's no big deal. I do have a slight feeling there. It's very interesting. This whole game is based on you, and this is something that I've heard before and that I've heard very often before. You not giving as much of a fuck about what is happening compared to the other person. And there is a saying that the person also in a relationship that gives the less of a fuck is the person that is in control of the relationship. And I gotta have to say, yes, it is kind of the case. It really is. But I don't know, if I consciously don't give a fuck about things, then I don't know. I really don't. It just doesn't feel like being me. Maybe it's just something that I kind of have to try out. Maybe this is something that I should try out, and I think I am gonna. But I don't know. It's not necessarily who I am, and this is a slight problem for me. Don't act as if things are a big deal. Just read. Oh, I've already read that. Chapter 4, maybe I'm actually going to buy this book or read it because, it is so interesting. Not just due to me being able to I think it is due to me being able to quote-unquote manipulate people, but it's not due to just women per se. I don't know. So I'm not gay, by the way, but it is it is interesting how people work and how things work. This is why I actually would like to just know more about that. Chapter 4, which is going to be the last one for today, I guess. Rules and structure of the game. And the structure, I'm sorry. Social intuition, finely tuned from time spent in the field, is known as calibration. A skilled Venusian artist will anticipate and having a prepared response for nearly any common social challenge. He will have encountered this challenge before and have experimented with a variety of different responses. When a challenge arises, the answer automatically comes forth and delivered into action by his unconscious mind. In the same way that all practiced behaviors become automatic, this process is known as internalization. Women usually have more calibration and social skill than men do, especially attractive women, simply because they have been involved in more approaches. Indeed, they are very easily saying please go away, you motherfucker. The mystery method focuses on 3 stages of the courtship phase. Beginning, which is the pickup, then the middle, which is the mid-game, and the ending, which is the endgame. The primary focus of the mystery method is not seduction, but rather attraction. If a woman considers a man to be sexually attractive to other women, she may instantly feel an attraction towards him. I see. But I don't know. Some ways to flip this pre-selection, which is to wear a woman's perfume or have a lipstick kiss on your cheek. Do people actually do that? Some ways to flip this pre-selection. I don't know. This is, I like these things. I like these little tricks and these little thoughts. That's very interesting, the perfume thing, because I could easily pull it off. But I don't know if I would be just viewed as as a weird person, or if it is indeed about like, okay, you're wearing a woman's perfume, so I assume that you're having a girlfriend. Only after you attract can seduction take place. However, it is also crucial to build comfort. You must go to the sequence in order and complete all the steps without getting stuck. Most attractive women have protective shields as a defense mechanism against so many guys approaching them. 3 player traps. Failure to justify a mutual attraction. Okay, disregard of comfort and buyer's remorse. A woman's LOIs, or indicators of interest, or IOIs, notify when to go from the attraction stage to comfort building stage. But you must not do so until she legitimately earns your iOS as well. Earns. Is earn or earns. URNS. I don't know. I've just gotten a message question mark? No, I haven't. Anyway. But you must not do so until she legitimately blah 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 blah. Example iOS, asking for your name, touching you again when you say hands off the hands off the merchandise. Grabbing her hands and holding them. Her holding back. Laughing at all of your humorous remarks, and when you ask her to bite your neck, and she does. I do have to say, like, it is what I've seen over the years and over the months that I've been going through relationship books and pickup books and whatnot. I've seen a pattern of like confidence regarding men. I'm very sorry that this is not necessarily something that is applicable to women. Maybe it is like a protection thing for women. This is actually pretty cool. But I've seen like being confident, giving less of a fuck, being humorous, which is I think a pretty big part as well. And I gotta have to change some things, I guess. I really do believe so. You must encourage her to demonstrate qualities that substantiate your attraction. It takes an average of 4 to 10 hours of cumulative comfort building before a woman is ready for seduction. If you don't get an iOS or IOIS in 25 minutes into your interaction, you have blown your first impression. If you are 20 hours in and she feels uncomfortable with any physical escalation, she already knows you don't have the values she wants. There are 3 separate locations types you and your romantic interest will likely visit or jump to. There are 3 separate location types you and your romantic interest will likely visit or jump to. Meeting location, comfort building location, and sex location. There are 3 types of location changes or jumps: the move, walking around the venue, the bounce, changing venues, time bridge, meeting up at a later time. It is so interesting, this book. I love those books. It is insane. I just really love those books. And I think the next episode is actually, you know what? I'm going to end the episode. I'm already 25 minutes in. What the fuck? Yeah. I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and all success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself you're going to be remembered. This basically means your legacy, and basically means you're being a nice person, and being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty cool thing. And yeah. 3 other questions that I have for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. One last question is: what could you ultimately say to another person that is going to change how they feel, that is going to change their life, that is going to change things, because it's cool. And yeah, with that being said, hopefully you're having a very nice time and you're hopefully feeling good. And yeah, bye-bye.